Hey guys, so today we have a special video and it's a little bit late, but I thought it'd be good. As lots of you guys know that I'm a real lover of the Melbourne Demons Football Club and they've won the 2021 Premiership. So what I'm going to be doing to commemorate this is drawing something up on CAD. So I'm going to be tracing this on CAD, cutting it out and putting it up around my house. So let's get started on Autodesk Inventor. As you can imagine as well, there's going to be a big part of me just tracing this that's going to be sped up, because I'm not going to put you guys through me slowly tracing all of it. So let's find this picture from all the memes and opening it up there. Okay, so now I want to make sure we size this. It's only 57mm at the moment, so if we make that 650, let's have a look at that. Alright, cool. So what we're going to do is start off with the tricky parts, or even the big parts is what I normally do, and I start off with the outside edge. For everyone that watched the game as well, it was really exciting because we started off, it was all going really easily and well, and then unfortunately it started going a little bit downhill, so it was a real kind of nail biter until the third quarter where we kind of blew them out of the park a little bit, so kind of really enjoyed that. What I'm going to do as well for this drawing, I'm going to cut it down the middle. Yep, that's straight. So that way I just have to trace one side and I can mirror it across. Obviously can't do that with the text that I have sitting there as well. Alright, and then moving down, we're going to have to start using this arc tool a lot. And you got to see, it looks like a really nice angle, but lots of the time it doesn't. See that? It doesn't turn out to actually be. So pressing escape there, and we're going to go back to the arc tool. It's funny too, actually, the amount of times I'm asked why I go for the Melbourne Demons, and a lot of it is actually because my family, well, my dad in particular, knew quite a few of them back in the day, so I got lots of photos and things. It was all really fun. So now using the mirror tool, I've selected what I want to do, and the mirror line in the middle. Let's apply that. Done. Cool. Now I can get rid of this middle line. There is going to be a double line over here, but that doesn't actually matter very much. Alright, back to our arc tool. I'm going to work in here. Get that perfect-ish. I'm going to try to go down about halfway. Alright, cool. So now I'm going to be tracing all of these parts, and I'm probably going to be sped up. So, hope you enjoy. Okay, so we've done most of the tracing. Now we just need to move through to the trimming up. So we've got a few of these lines here that we need to go through and just trim. You'll see that some of the letters that are a little bit more symmetrical, I obviously tried my best to mirror them down the middle to try to save a little bit of time. But I mean, in saying that, I've been recording for 19 minutes, so it took about 10-ish minutes, I reckon, to fully trace all of that. So now we're all trimmed up, and that looks pretty good. Check that M. All right. So now it comes down to the test of how if I missed anything. So like we've talked about previously in videos, when using the line or the arc tool, you're trying to make sure you really click on these vertices here, and you know that by the circle going green. So if I go 3D model extrude, always does that. I wish I knew how to not do that. Cancel that. For some reason that wasn't liking me much. So let's try that one more time. Extrude. Alright, so you can see all of them lighting up. That lights, all of that lights up. So I've actually missed something around the edge here. So, trick to finding out as well. If I go extrude, oh, that's so annoying. Profiles. It's not even gonna let me select the profile, so it must be properly mistaken. There it is. So now if I get out of that line, okay, and then we do need to make sure we trim this up. It doesn't like things hanging off. It needs to be a fully encapsulated shape. All these dots you see too are actually just the centers of these different arcs that you've made, so you don't need to be worried about them. I know lots of students have been worrying about them recently. But you can see over here we've got some arcs, so there's some dots, and here, but anywhere there's straight lines, you can see there's no dots. So that's why there's some around here. And for these bigger curved surfaces, that's why we've got some in here. So you'll know. Let's try one more time. Sweet, and that's how we know we've done that. You can see that I've made a mistake here. I've missed 2 lines on that curved surface there. So let's go line. It's actually unfortunate. Normally I'm a lot better at getting them all than this. Let's try one more time. Cool. Like I've said previously, you might see then I've just extruded that to 10 mil, and you'll know that it doesn't matter if we're taking this onto the CNC plasma cutter. It doesn't matter how big I do it because we're just taking this front face here. So I'm going to Control Z though, because I actually made a little bit of a mistake. And while traditionally the where's text? So traditionally the Melbourne logo is like this. We're actually just going to go down here, stencil, and let's have a look at R in stencil. Whoops, let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's make it, so just having a look at how the stencil font constructs that. So you can see there it's got the split down the middle, and what was the other one? A B. You know, a B as well. So same thing, just splitting down the middle. So I'm gonna have to make some cuts on these. Well, let's delete that now. So now for these, because we want to make sure we're keeping the O, and the O as well actually is another one. So what I can learn from using that research I just did with the text tool is that I know I can, if I go up here, and then what will we go across? You're gonna grab onto that line, buddy. There we go. So if I grab onto that like that, and we go straight down like that, and we'll go straight down like that. And we do need to connect these up. Okay, now if I use the trim tool, you'll see that, what else was I going to do? I need to leave that. So now I can trim these out. I actually don't. I just realized I don't need these lines either in here. Trim that. And we got rid of those lines. So you can see there it's going to follow these outlines there. We'll do the same thing, and I want to actually go in the middle for this. And then what I'm going to do is actually offset that. I want 2.5. 2.5. Okay, now we can delete that one. And if we go through with the trim tool, trim this up. Ooh. Stuff that up a little bit, line. So that might have been where I didn't connect it down here, and the trim tool will actually get confused and delete another part of the line. So just going through like that. Is that? Oh no, that's a bit of the arc, and then we can trim these here as well. So we've got that there, and then finally the R, which is going to be the same process as the. Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit. It'll be similar to the process that I just did with the O. Because I'm going to make this line here. I'm actually going to then make it go all the way down to there. I'm actually just going to offset, not dimension. Self-intersecting puzzle loops can. Oh, okay, so that's. I've made a mistake there and done the. And done it connected to that first one that I made. So it won't like that. But let's dimension these away from each other. That's 5 there. Let's double check over here. And that's also 5, so we know we're good. And then we can finish this off by trimming it up. So we're going to trim down here. Which also means cancel. We're going to need to trim up here as well. Is that working? There we go. Can delete that. And then coming up here as well, we can delete that. We don't want to delete this one because we need it up the top section. So I can trim that up and then trim that up like that. So you'll see now when I extrude it, so I've done a little bit of fiddling there, you'll see now when I extrude it that it will keep the inners of these and it'll actually look like the words extrude. Sweet, so that looks a bit better. And so you can see how that now has got rid of the O. So another mistake. So this literally just means that there's a spot that I've missed in this O shape. And frustratingly, it's not sometimes really easy to see where you've missed it. But in this case, it was super easy. Come on. I didn't like that, did it? Again, this side. Alright, take 4, I think. Alright, 4th time was the charm. Alright, so we've got that there. So, now what we're going to be doing is moving over to the CNC plasma cutter to then cut this out. Actually, no, before we do that, we do need some mounting points for this. And I think we might put one at the top and one down here at the bottom. So if I left click on this and go create sketch, now all I'm going to do is find where the middle is, which I think we did that because we mirrored this, which was really nice. If I find the middle of that, which will be there, and you can see how that makes it go 90 degrees. So I can see that 90 degrees symbol in the left-hand side of my screen, and I can click there. And that way I know it's in the middle because I have used the mirror tool, which is really important. It's a really nice tool to make sure you don't stuff anything up. And then I can go in here and I can kind of just see I want a 5mm hole there, and up here I want a 5mm hole there. Right click OK, click on this line, delete it, and then we can go 3D model extrude. We've got our holes here that we want to cut. So we want to cut that, and we want to cut this one out down here as well. Now most screws and things will fit easily through a 5mm hole, and that's why I do it, because I'm just going to use plugs and screws to mount these on the wall. So there we go, we've got our 2 holes there for our screws, we've got our full demon shield made up. So now we should be cutting across to me with the CNC plasma cutter, cutting this bad boy out. So I'll see you then. Hey guys, so here we are back at school, and you can see here that I've got a few things left over from other cutouts that people have done previously, and it's really good to keep these on there. So as you can see, like, they've still got the shapes cut out from those previous projects. So we can work around those and try to use as much of this spare space as possible. So by pressing W and then 0, 0, enter, that gives me the first corner of a rectangle that I can then start scaling. So now if I do 600, 600, because that's how big I wanted this Melbourne logo to be. So now if I go File and I go Import, and you can see here that I've opened it up to double check it, and I open that. So you can see here, for some reason, and I don't know why, it's coming up way too big and not coming up to the size that I specified. This is something I'm going to have to check, but as I'm here, the normal workaround is what I'm going to be doing. So if I now press S for scale, and I click on the top of this, and then the bottom, I can then scale it to make it fit. And if I move it, I just need to make it fit within this rectangle. And so you can see there that it fits in it pretty well. So the width of it's fine. It's a little bit long, but that's okay because it's not a perfectly sized rectangle. And what you might remember, when we did this on Inventor, we did just measure across the top. So that's why that's going to be fine. So now if I can press M for move again, and move this across to here. I could make it go in there, but that's going to waste a bit more material over here. So you try to keep it to the edge as much as possible, well, as much as we can. So sorry for the shaky camera work as well, guys. So now if I press N, and then click on the outside edge of this and say, yes, I do want to convert holes automatically. And it converts all the holes, you know, if it's done this correctly, because it goes green. And then right-clicking to get out of that selection process. Now I've got that all lined up properly, and I've got everything set up. I think the only thing I actually need to do is the loud business of turning on the compressor over here. So we'll turn this on, and turn him on here. And it's going to be very loud, and so the next thing you're going to be seeing is I'll probably stop talking, and I'll just show you this cutting out when we start it up.
first thing you're going to do after cutting it out is spraying it with some primer so that the colours that you want will stick. Obviously not sponsored by Drymark, lovely Australian company. Okay, so now we've done the primer coat, which, just keeping a heads up that if you use an old primer, it can sometimes go really like gluggy coming out of the spray bottle. I had a bit of trouble with that this time until I switched to a brand new one that I just bought. So now I'm going with the cheapest possible spray that I could get from Bunnings. And this is going to be the blue for well, what's it going to be, the third and fourth coats, and then I'll do the red V over the top. So tune back in when I've done that. Okay, and we're finally taped up for our final coats of our super cheap paint. Big tip for this one is to make sure you wait for the 10-minute touch dry time, and then quickly give it one more second coat just to make sure it's got a nice coat on it, and then take your tape off so it doesn't tear your paint. So that's the Laxton quick tip of the day.